Welcome to the Locks and Dogs NFL Picks Podcast, Divisional Playoff Round edition. We've got the NFL locks and a few dogs that you need to hear, and the podcast starts right now. Welcome back, everybody. This is Matt.
This is Mark.
Locks and Dogs. We've made it to the divisional round of the playoffs, Mark.
Yes.
Sadly, there was no king of the super wild card weekend. Bang, bang. We both had three winners. Let's just run through it real quick. We watched the Texans absolutely drill the poor Joe Flacco Browns. 45-14 is the final. For that one, I believe neither of us ran the Texans.
No, that was the only one that we collectively missed last week.
We both thought that Joe Flacco on the road was going to be okay.
Well, we really thought the Browns' defense was going to stand up against rookie C.J. Stroud, but now we know that he's a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, he lit up one of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah, Chiefs 26, Dolphins 7. For this one, I was in the Chiefs.
Yeah, I was on the Dolphins. The Dolphins.
I told you the weather, bro. The Dolphins did not want any part of that game. They wanted to get out of that field as quickly as possible.
No, I really thought they put up more than 7 points. I think a lot of other people did too.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Dolphins just did not.
I think the Chiefs were my lock too.
Did not show up. And we'll get to my lock here pretty soon.
Yeah, we will. All right. Goodbye Dolphins. It's probably for the best. Next up, Packers 48. Cowboys 32. I was on the Packers. Rode the 7.5. Sprinkled the money line. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Money bags over here.
That was a last minute call for you.
Well, as soon as you lock the Cowboys, I'm like, wait a minute. This is we got to make a change here. Yeah, the Cowboys. The Packers were 27-7 at halftime. I never got the sense that the Cowboys were really in this one. It was kind of it was an avalanche of points from the beginning. They dressed it up in the fourth quarter. They scored 25 points in the second half to kind of make it sound a bit better. Question here: does Michael McCarthy keep his job?
I don't think so. Not when you have all these other coaches out there that could be hired.
I think this is an obvious spot for Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
it's got You say what you want about the Cowboys, but they have a lot of pieces already in place. He's not going to have to rebuild a franchise. I think there's a lot to start with. And if I'm honest, I think the coaching has kind of been the Achilles heel for a while. I think that's kind of been the gap. It's been 3 straight years of this where they get drilled in the first round.
Yeah, Belichick's a defensive coach. They have a great defense that did not show up against the Packers. That defense really needed to create turnovers and score in order for them to win.
They couldn't tackle.
No.
It was Aaron Jones. Just every time he touched the ball, he was getting 7 yards.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, so good win by me. Thanks, Matt. Next up, Lions 24, Rams 23. We're both on the Rams. Cover it up.
Yeah.
Thank you for the +3. I did sprinkle the money line. I was sad when it didn't hit. The way the game was unfolding, I was convinced that the Rams they kept hanging around. They got it to within a point, and then they had the ball, in the last few minutes in the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. I thought they were going to score. I thought they were going to pick up another field goal and break the hearts of everyone in Detroit. But no, they did not. But yeah, no, fun game. Kind of back and forth. The Lions jumped out to the early lead. Rams kind of came back. Second half was kind of a rock fight, but a fun game overall. Any thoughts here?
Yeah, the Lions looked really good. They were really aggressive on offense. They scored on that opening drive.
Yeah, they came out fired up.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was probably one of the better games of the weekend. It was the only one that wasn't a blowout. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where the Lions go from here.
Okay, next up, Team Sharman, the Bills 31, Steelers 17. I didn't realize that Buffalo was so soft.
Why is Buffalo soft?
Because they moved a game because of weather in Buffalo. Because of safety. These are people who light tables on fire, dive through them, then run around while on fire.
Yeah, I mean, based on the footage that I saw, it was bad
You
conditions.
could play in anything.
No, it was zero visibility. It wouldn't have shown up on the broadcast. You wouldn't have seen anything.
That's all the more reason to broadcast it.
Well, they canceled the hockey game tonight because of weather in Buffalo too. So
Wow. Whoa.
and those are not played outdoors.
Tough it up. I thought Buffalo was one of like the tougher cities in the NFL.
Let's talk about the game.
If I'm sorry, if Chiefs fans can take their shirts off and negative 4-degree weather, the Bills fans can show up for a little snow.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. This is a Bills. Again, this is a Bills drill spot. The Steelers they dressed it up a little bit in the second half, tried to make it close. Mason Rudolph, he played like Mason Rudolph on the road.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to get the cover. They got an extra touchdown towards the end to kind of dress. I mean, the Steelers started going for it on fourth down like every time, so it was kind of a matter of time before they did something to steal our cover.
Yeah.
Either way, I was on the Steelers. I think you were too.
No.
Are you in the Bills? You're the Bills minus 10?
Hell yeah.
I still think you got a backdoor cover.
I was sweating it there for a while. I was sweating a little bit. But yeah, this isn't the same Bills team that we saw at the beginning of the year. They're firing on all cylinders against a Steelers team that wasn't very good.
No. Firing on all cylinders against the Steelers team that wasn't very good. All right, I got to think about that one. Next up, Buccaneers 32, Eagles 9.
My dog, the Baker Bucks.
Yeah, I believed in the Eagles, and I got drilled for it.
Vegas thanks you for your money.
Vegas can have. Well, I thank Vegas for the Rams money and the Packers money. Thank you, Vegas, for making the Packers a 7.5 point dog in a game that they obviously should have been the favorite.
Everyone bet on the Eagles for that game.
I don't think so.
I think so.
We could check.
Fine, let's check.
For that game, the betting splits. I don't think it was. I think it was closer than you think. It was 50-50.
Wow.
So Vegas lights a cigar. Yeah. Literally 50-50 on the money line, 50-50 on the spread.
Wow.
We can check the money splits too. Hang on. That's the bets. What about the money? Where did Vegas make the most money? 52-48 in favor of Eagles. So it was a slight edge to the Eagles. So Vegas did. Money line bets were way on the Eagles though. So the amount of money spent, the bets are, the number of tickets are just about even. The amount of money is, definitely favored the Eagles. So you're technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
There you go. But yeah, an Eagles team that couldn't tackle, that gave up on their head coach.
Couldn't block, couldn't tackle. The offense, the game plan was terrible. They quit. That was an NFL team quitting in the second half.
Yeah.
They were in it for a bit in the first half. It was a sloppy game. The Bucs did what they wanted against them, which is kind of shocking, I think. So, I was, it's at halftime. I was like trying to consider if I should try to hedge, and I'm just like, just let it ride. I see what happens. They were only down by a touchdown.
Yeah.
They ended up down a lot more. They got drilled. Question here: How do the Eagles move forward?
They're probably. I have a feeling they're going to fire their head coach. You can't have
really took the team to the Super Bowl a year ago.
Yeah, but I mean that team's been checked out for the past month. Like this isn't anything new. Like they've been checked out for a while. I mean it could just be the Super Bowl hangover. Like they're just tired and like another postseason for them. Like
there was a problem with the defense. Okay, they had Sean Desai as the defensive coordinator. They moved him out for Matt Patricia. And you really could not have made a worse choice than swapping Sean Desai from like if you wanted to go from like bad to worse. Like I don't know if you remember the Matt Patricia era in Detroit, but everybody hated him.
Yeah,
like everybody thought he was like the biggest tool on the planet. I doubt that's changed.
Yeah.
And I got this, and just based on the way the defense played, they did not want to play for him. So he's probably still the biggest tool on the planet, and nobody wanted to play for him.
Yeah.
So, and with Sean Desai, I don't think he's that divisive. I mean, he might not be the best defensive coordinator, but I don't see teams hating him to the point that they would quit on him.
Yeah.
So that was a curious decision. The offensive game plan. What they really looked like, the Eagles, a team that lost both their coordinators, and that's guess what happened.
Yeah.
They're a team that lost both their and they tried to replace with guys who had been other places, and I think the OC was internal, but either way. Just did not have the same results. My guess is Nick Sirianni survives, but that coaching staff gets thrown out.
At least the defense. Yeah,
All of them. No,
the defense.
it's got to be. You're going to see a pretty big house cleaning. I have a feeling. And I think you're also going to see some guys get traded. Also, I think there's some guys in the locker room who probably weren't maintaining the most positive atmosphere. All right, on to divisional.
Yep.
Okay. First game we have on Saturday: Texans at Ravens. Line in this one: Ravens -9.5. Over under at 43.5. The early bets on this guy: 64% of the bets on the spread coming in the Texans, 52% of the bets on the over, and 56% of the bets coming in on the money line are coming in the Ravens. You got to get that -460 action on the money line. You got to make sure you bet that right away. What are you doing here? How are you starting off divisional weekend?
I'm going to go with the Texans +9.5. CJ Stroud and the Texans. The lights aren't too bright for them.
At home.
At home. It'll be interesting to see how the Ravens respond to having a bye week, if they're slow coming off the bye week. But I think the Texans are a force to be reckoned with, and I think they can stand up against this Ravens team. I don't know if they win, but I think it's a close game.
Okay. I think Vegas is telling us what's going to happen with this line. I think you're going to see the Texans get absolutely drilled. And I'll tell you, okay, first off, the Ravens have technically had 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
So they're coming into this one rested. They got everybody. They should have most of their guys back. So Mark Andrews was a full go at practice this week. So he was gone forever. I think we haven't seen him for 2 months.
Yeah.
So they should have everybody back. Everybody's healthy. Also, I think everybody is going to be on the Texans this week. They're going to see that line after the result they had at home against the Browns, and are going to be jumping on the Texans. Vegas is going to be lighting a cigar because that's where all the dumb money is going to go. I'm staying sharp, razor sharp, Ravens sharp. Give me the Ravens. I'll lay the 9.5. I'll try to find a better number. I might wait on this one, see if we can. It opened at 8.5, so if I see it go back or drift back to where, or drift down a little bit, I might even consider buying a point to get the 8.5. But I think this is a Ravens drill spot. I think you have a healthy, rested Ravens team at home. My guess is it's going to be cold. There's going to be some, the weather isn't probably going to be great for the Texans. I could see them liking Baltimore in September a lot more than they like Baltimore in January. I just think that's the play. CJ Stroud on the road in the playoffs. We'll see how that goes. Also, I think this Texans team is still kind of banged up. They look great against the Browns. The Browns team looked very banged up and slow. But that was in the dome. We'll see how we'll see if the Texans show up on the grass in Baltimore in January. I'm laying the points.
All right,
fly Ravens fly. Next up, Packers at 49ers. The line on this one, I've got again 49ers -9.5. The over/under 50.5. I think it's an optimistic over/under, by the way. I think we come in way under that, but we'll see. Early bets on this one: 57% of the bets in the spread coming on the Packers, 76% of the bets in the over, and 61% of the money line bets coming in on the 49ers. Lock up that -450 action as soon as you can. For this one, it's the same script. You've got the Packers who are again coming off the big win against a Dallas team that went out of their way to choke that game away. Coming into the buzzsaw, going into San Francisco to face the best team in the league. After they rested, they're pretty well rested. I don't think they. I think it was the B team against the Rams in Week 18. So you've got everybody who's got solid 2 weeks of 1.5 2 weeks of rest. So they're coming in healthy. Christian McCaffrey's coming in fresh. Again, -9.5. I'm laying the 9.5. Give me I think this is a 49ers drill spot. Again, I know the recency bias says that the Packers, should show up for this one. They just, we just saw them beat an adequate Cowboys defense on the road. I think this one goes much, much worse for them. I think we see the 49ers absolutely drill them. This is going to be a lot more physical. They're going to get knocked around. Jordan Love's going to get beaten up. He's going to find out what it's like to go into San Francisco in January for a playoff game. Lay the 9.5. Let's go Niners. What say you, Mark?
Going with the Packers plus 9.5. So my logic here is kind of the same with the Texans. The 9.5 to me is a lot of points. So I don't really expect the Packers to win. I expect it to be a close game.
Vegas is telling you what's going to happen with this game with the spread. There's a reason it's 9.5.
But the Packers have looked. They've been on fire. We talked midway through the season how bad Jordan Love was. He isn't bad anymore.
He's had a good stretch of game.
In the regular season, he won his last 3 regular season games, and then won that playoff game against the Cowboys. Yeah, going into San Francisco against a healthy 49ers team again, I don't expect them to win. I expect it to be a high scoring game, competitive. I don't know that we go over 50, but
I don't think we do.
We could, but I like the Packers to cover the 9.5.
All right, fair enough. Opposite sides. Okay, next up, moving on to Sunday. Buccaneers at Lions. Line on this guy. Lions laying 6.5, over under 48.5. Early numbers here. 60% of the bets on the spread coming in the Lions. This line has moved up a point, open at 5.5. Over under 66% of the bets in the over. I think that's optimistic. And 77% of the bets in the money line coming in the Lions, minus 275. Got to get it while you can. Okay. For this one, again, my calculus is this. I don't like betting on dogs unless I think dogs in the playoffs, unless I think they can win outright. Okay? And that gets truer and truer as I move, as I get deeper into this. I'm more willing to take a dog in the wild card round than I'm in the divisional, and I'm more willing to take a dog in the divisional than I'm in the championship, unless I think they can win outright. Give me the Lions minus 6.5. Again, this is the crowd is going to be absolutely lit. It's going to be on. It's not going to be on grass. It's going to be on turf. I'm sorry. It's not going to be. It's going to be on turf, not grass, in the dome. And I think that favors the Lions. I think they're the faster team. I think that they can turn this into a track meet. And I think they're essentially going to run the Buccaneers off the field, is how I see it. I think the Bucs took advantage of an Eagles team that was quitting, and it's not going to be nearly the same against. Again, they're going to. I think the Lions are the more physical team in this case. Also, that line, they got that look to them where they seem to want more. Is the impression I'm under. So I'll lay the 6.5 with the Lions. It's a gut play, but that's the side I want to be on for this one. I don't see the Bucs being able to win this one outright. So I'll lay the 6.5. I'll roll with the pride. Detroit pride. Let's go Lions. What say you?
I'm going with another dog here. I'm going with the Bucs plus 6.5. I don't expect the Bucs to win, but again, I do expect it to be a close game. The Bucs, they have a good run defense. I think if they can slow down Montgomery and was it Gibbs?
Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, if they're able to slow down the Lions' running game and at the same time get pressure on Jared Goff, I think the Bucs defense can put them in a position to make it a close game.
Taking Baker on the road, mind you.
Yeah. Taking Baker on the road. But Baker wins when he's a dog. Like he.
True. Okay, I will give you that much. I do. We talked about this previously. I do like the Bucs a lot more as a dog than I ever did as a favorite. That's a very fair point. However, it's January, bro.
Again, I don't.
It's the divisional playoffs.
I don't expect them to win. I expect them to cover.
Fair enough. All right.
Last week the Bucs run game continues to look good. Baker's chucking it down the field. Yeah, I like the Bucs plus 6.5.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Moving on, the last game, Chiefs at Bills. Bills minus 2.5 is the line. 45 is the over/under. Early action on this one, 51% of the bets on the spread coming in on the Bills, 55% of the bets on the over, and 52% of the money line bets on the Chiefs. Okay. What are you doing for the late game in Buffalo? First off, there are no indications that they're going to move the start time yet. However, it's Buffalo, the softest city in the NFL, so that they may have to move they may move it up, they may move it back. Again, they're super concerned about safety in Buffalo, as they always are. So, what do you do with this one on Sunday night?
Buffalo's not soft. Give me the Bills minus 2.5. The Bills aren't the same team they were at the beginning of the year, even though Stephon Diggs, still probably quite isn't at the same level that he was last year. I like the Bills at home here.
Okay.
I think that Kansas City, their defense has been good, but something seemed off about them all year.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of let teams stay in games, and then they eventually win them.
Agree.
But I think the Bills really put their foot on the gas pedal here. I think you might see the Bills blow out the Chiefs here.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I feel
because Buffalo's not soft.
Okay. Was last weekend. I'm on the Chiefs plus 2.5. Sprinkle the money line.
Wow.
First up, okay. In this game, what would you consider the biggest advantage for Buffalo in this game?
Home field advantage.
Okay.
Yes.
Where did the Chiefs play last weekend?
They played at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was the weather?
It was cold.
Yeah. So they've proven that they can play in the elements.
Well, sure they can.
So beating an AFC East team in the elements, did it last weekend.
True. I mean,
let's make it 2 in a row.
Look, the Chiefs are they're the reigning Super Bowl champs.
Yep.
This isn't the Bucs that kind of like meandered their way into the playoffs and kind of found.
Hey, the Bucs won the division.
They did.
Okay, the calculus in this one is actually pretty simple. Okay, number one, I don't think the weather is going to be a factor because we've seen that the Chiefs can handle the elements. They handled it last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, it was like the cold one, like the third coldest game in the history of the NFL, and they absolutely drilled the Dolphins. Okay,
Yeah.
So I think from a physicality perspective, I think I like the Chiefs a bit better. Two, I still don't trust the Bills' defense. I think they had. In the previous round, they had a great matchup against a Steelers team that really shouldn't have been there. Okay, the Steelers were. I mean, if you had to power rank all of the teams in the playoffs, the Steelers are coming in dead last. I don't care. You can say what you want about some of the other teams,
Yeah.
Browns, whatever. It was by far the best matchup that they could have had for the first round. Okay, third. That's not going to be the case. You're going to be facing an offense that's kind of finding its identity. They're a bit more, this is a bit more punch you in the mouth Chiefs offense than the finesse Chiefs offense that we're used to. That's fine. They still have Patrick Mahomes. He still makes good decisions with the football. He's also like kind of in superhero mode where he's just going to, he's going to do whatever he has to. If he has to, run for 80 yards, he's going to run for 80 yards. If he has to, throw the ball to Rashee Rice 65 times, he's going to throw the ball to Rashee Rice 65 times. I do kind of like this matchup for Travis Kelce, just because, again, I don't trust the Bills' defense all that much. I think he's going to be able to find some of the soft spots in that zone. So, if I'm again kind of ranking, weighing the options, the offensive, the Chiefs' offense versus the Bills' defense, I actually like this a lot for the Chiefs. Okay, that's one. Next, Bills on offense. They're not going to be able to run the ball against the Chiefs as well as they ran the ball against Pittsburgh. So, and I still don't trust Josh Allen. I think he's still kind of he's turned into a bit of a turnover machine. He's also in superhero mode, however.
I don't think he threw a pick against the Steelers, did he?
No, he did not.
Okay.
Not against the Steelers, but he did every other week.
I did want to mention that the Bills did beat the Chiefs at home 20-17 in Week 14 of the regular season.
Revenge spot for the Chiefs. No, I also, I think so. I kind of like this the defensive matchup for the Chiefs defense versus the Bills offense. The weapons on the Bills just don't scare me as much as they have. They don't have the speed that I've on the outside that they've had in years past. James Cook is okay as a running back. I don't think he's gonna he doesn't terrify me. The only one who really scares me is Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And it's just he's also playing in superhero mode. That being said, I think the Chiefs. I think this is going into the fourth quarter. It's a close game, and I'll say Chiefs by a field goal, and I'm taking the point just to cover my butt, and I'm sprinkling that money line because they're going to win outright. Oh. So we're literally on the opposite side of every game this week.
Yeah, we are.
So. So we got to do locks and dog. I mean, there's only 4 games. You know who my dog is. I've only picked one. So my dog is the Chiefs. Lock it up.
Yeah.
My lock, my favorite play for this week is probably the Lions. Lions minus 6.5. I think is my favorite. My favorite. My lock. What say you, Mark?
Well, since
you've only got one favorite to pick.
Right. Yeah. So since everything else I have here are dogs, lock up the Bills minus 2.5, and then for
lock versus dog battle.
Yep.
Dogs are barking, Mark. Dogs are barking.
For my dog, let's do it 2 weeks in a row. Bucks plus 6.5.
A double lock battle.
Yeah.
A double lock and dog battle. Wow, we've never had this before. This is a Locks and Dogs podcast first. A double lock and dog. This has been the Locks and Dogs podcast for the divisional playoff round. Check out locksanddogs.com for the latest in gambling picks and news. Hit that subscribe button to get notifications on the latest episodes, and please leave us a review. We appreciate the 5 stars, but we just love to hear any feedback you have. What we're doing well, what we're not doing well, please just let us know. For Locks and Dogs, this is Matt.
This is Mark.
And we'll see you next week.